Hey guys, so I have been asked quite often, how did I lose the weight? And so every time I do, I have to write out this lengthy thing that really has lots of gaps in it anyway. So I just thought I'd make a video so I can just send that next time I'm asked, but also, you know, maybe hopefully can help quite a few people that haven't asked. Okay, so it was a process. And I guess I'll just start kind of at the beginning. So I had always been kind of chubbier, and I just kind of thought that was just, you know, how I was. I have an older sister that was pretty close to me in age, and she was always like really stick thin, like size 0 and stuff, and she could eat whatever she wanted to, and she never gained weight. So I just thought growing up, well, this is just me. I'm just, you know, this is just the way I'm gonna have to be. And I tried all kinds of things, like me and one of my friends went on a watermelon and it was some sort of cereal, like, oh, I don't know, but not frosted flakes, or cornflakes? Yes, it was cornflakes. We went on a watermelon and cornflake diet one summer. We actually lost quite a bit of weight, but we quickly gained it back, you know, when school started. So I always was pretty active. I always went speed walking, even before I got into regular, like what I do now. And just no matter what I tried like all the fad diets, like the Atkins diet, stuff like that. It just, you know, you lose weight at first, but you always gain it all back, as so many have experienced. So finally, after I had my first child, I got up to my highest weight that I'd ever been. As a matter of fact, the weight that I went in to deliver her with, I stayed at that weight and didn't lose any of it. So, because I started eating ice cream and stuff after I had her, like what, okay. So, anyways, it was at that point I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to do something. So I started going from like speed walking to jogging. So what I would do is, you know, I would go to a park that we have here and there'd be people running, and I was like, okay, you know what, they can do that, so can I. So I would just run for as long as I could, or jog maybe, before I got too tired to do it, and then I would stop and walk until my heart rate went down, then I would jog again. Eventually I got up to where I could run 5 miles. And I did that every single day for like, I don't know, years, I guess. And then as far as my diet went, I ate basically clean. My mom is into like super clean eating, and so she taught me a lot of stuff, and I learned a lot of stuff from her on just like eating things that are natural and, you know, whole foods, unprocessed things, you know, whatever. So I ate pretty clean, really. At that point, I wasn't really eating anything bad. So I would eat like a tomato and avocado sandwich for lunch, and for breakfast, I probably would eat like oatmeal or something little like that, and then I would really eat nothing else for the rest of the day except for almonds, because I thought, well, I can't lose weight, so I'm gonna have to do something, and like eating little was all I could think of. And also, like, I mean, that's just all I knew, you know. So I thought, you know, since I was not moving on the scale, eating as little as I was eating, and running 5 miles a day, I thought, you know, this is just the way that I am. Apparently, I'll just never be, you know, that in shape looking person. Skip a few years, and I got involved in like weight training at a gym that I went to with a friend, and it was just like light weights, and I took classes, and I really enjoyed it. And for the first time ever, I started seeing a movement in the scale. Well, I say the first time ever, I mean, I'd seen movement before, but like true improvement, changes in my body. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm onto something here. So from there, that is how I got involved in like weight training. It just gradually progressed until I got to where I am right now. Now, I say all that to say, although that was a huge factor, because when I started building muscle, the more muscle that you have, the more fat you burn. It speeds your metabolism up because of the process that your body has to go through to make muscle, but we will skip that for now. But the more muscle you have, the more fat you burn, and I learned that very quickly. So, anyway, so on the food. Okay, so this was a long process too, but to make this video as short as possible, basically what I finally figured out was what works best for me and what actually helped me to figure it out. I went through this phase where I increased my eating because I had someone helping me out, and they told me that I was gonna have to probably eat more in order to lose weight, because I had gotten to where like I was working out so much and still trying to eat so little, even though it was healthy food, that I was literally gaining, I literally gained like 10 pounds in a summer or something, because of one binge meal that I had for 1 week on vacation, because my body was starving, and so everything that I put into it just clung on. And then I tried to lose that weight over like 2 months or so, and it just did not happen. It wasn't budging, and as a matter of fact, I started getting bigger around the middle, and it was very frustrating because I really just got nitty-gritty on what I was eating. I was doing my workouts, and I was gaining weight. And I found out that my metabolism was shot from lack of carbs, for one, and from just not eating enough food to make up for the workouts that I was doing. And so I started eating. He put me on a plan. I started eating more. He also stressed the importance of eating protein, was something that I never had really thought about or done before. And so I was eating protein at every meal, and immediately, I'm talking about like within a week, I started seeing results. Because before, I had a very, very low protein diet. I just really didn't get very much in at all, because meat wasn't my thing. I was more of a bread, pasta kind of person, and so I kind of stuck with things that were more like that. So anyway, as soon as I started that diet, I did start seeing results. Finally figured out, after a long process and several years, what works best for me. I got my FitnessPal. I'm still sticking to foods that are whole foods, unprocessed foods, because if they're processed, then they're more likely they are going to stick to your ribs. They'll make you gain weight. Try to stick to things that are like, if you look at the ingredient list, 7 ingredients and less is very safe. Obviously, I don't stick completely to that, but I do try to do that. Also, I try to hit a certain amount of calories every day because of my workouts. I track the workouts that I do, plus the food that I intake, and then I try to make sure that I have at least 1,700 calories, even after the calories I've burned per day eaten. So number 1, what I would do, track it. It might be annoying at first, but it's really the best way, so that you can actually figure out what you're eating, and so that actually you can tweak it later whenever you need to tweak it again, because the thing is, you can't stick with one thing for the rest of forever if you're trying to actually get somewhere, if you have like a goal or whatever. So yes, you can stick to one thing for the rest of your life as long as you're just trying to maintain, but if you're going to try to improve, you're going to need to track it so that you can tweak here and there. Anyway, so my FitnessPal is what I use. I'm sure there's lots of other great apps out there. It tells you the carbs, the protein, and the fat that you're intaking. It tells you sugar and all the rest of the stuff too, but really those are the 3 that you need to focus on. So the big thing is just having to type every single thing that you eat into it, and you have to do that for several days, or however big your food variety is. Mine's very small, so it really only took me about 3 days, and then yet add things here and there. Now I don't follow that to a T because I've had to tweak here and there or whatever, but that was a good place to start. Have protein at every meal. I can't stress that enough, because protein is what builds muscle, and if you're looking to speed up your metabolism and burn fat, you need to build muscle. So I would just say, whenever you get your portions in order, there really truly is something to macros, and yes, it can be frustrating to figure out at first. I don't mind kind of helping if you have questions, kind of helping guide you on how to get started. Once you get started though, and once you figure it out, it's not hard at all. It becomes just routine and lifestyle, and that's how I finally started losing weight, was whenever I figured out, okay, I'm gonna have a certain amount of protein a day. My carbs and everything else, everything that I get is gonna be a more natural source, something that's not processed. Unfortunately, you can't get away with eating Pop-Tarts for your Oh, well, some of us can't. I can't get away with eating Pop-Tarts for like a post-workout snack or whatever. So that's why I drink post-workout shakes that don't have the fats in it, don't have the carbs in it. It is just the protein. Just, you know, things like that. So I am always willing to help with the little questions here and there. But to make a very long story short, it's kind of like my little journey of how I got started and then what I eat now. One thing I have definitely learned is there's no quick fixes. So there's no magic pills. Yes, I do use some supplements to help my nutrition. So like I use like the microfactor packs. That's just my vitamins, minerals, things that help, because whenever your body is like when your body's working properly, then you're going to burn more fat. You're going to be more energetic. You're going to your digestive system's gonna work better, which is important if you're trying to lose weight. And so that's why I take things like OptiGreens and the microfactor. I do the protein shakes as a supplement because I want to get in the right amount of protein. And like I said, I noticed that whenever I increased my protein intake, that I lost more weight, built more muscle, or lost more fat. Okay, don't get me wrong on that, because I actually haven't lost a whole lot of actual weight as far as the scale goes, but I've lost a lot of fat, and my clothes have gone down in size quite a bit. So that's the goal. It's not about how much the scale says. So that's the supplements that I take, and that's just because it's hard to sometimes always get the right amount of protein in. And it's hard to always get your vegetables in. But there is no quick fix. There are no quick cures to fat loss. Unfortunately, it takes hard work, it takes dedication, it takes determination, and if you have those things, then you can do it. But nobody can do it for you, unfortunately, and there's no easy way. Like, it gets easier, because to me now, eating healthy is a way of life, and I don't even really want junk. Like, I'll get off like every once in a while, and your body kind of craves something, and whenever that happens, you need to go ahead and give it into that craving in a small way, because if you don't, then you're gonna end up binging. But as far as like just wanting a bunch of junk, I just don't. So it does get easier. You just have to be determined at first, you have to be dedicated, and you just have to go for it, and just remember what your end results, what your outcome, what you want for an outcome. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. What was I saying? Anyway, you gotta work for it. That's just the truth of the matter. Nothing in life comes easy. No, I'm just kidding. But the things that we work for are usually the things that are more long-lasting and the things that mean the most to us. And, what else? So I hope that helped. Y'all have a great day. And if you have any questions, I'm going to try to answer them. I hope that wasn't more confusing than helpful, but